Y'all, we are in here for another episode of Bleav in Kentucky on the Bleav Podcast Network, #1 podcast network for professionals, alongside UK's 5th all-time leading scorer, 2nd all-time in steals. I'm talking about 00 TD. My name is Vinny Hardy. What's good with you, TD?
Man, I'm happy to be back, man. I feel like I'm back to the mainlands. You know, it's like being on an island and you got your face down and you really can't get off that boat, man, you know, but it's been good, you know, just with all the March Madness taking place and, you know, me doing stuff in Nashville, coming back and working with Turner Studios, doing some live streaming with one of my good buddies, Rex Chapman and Dave Briggs, you know. Yeah, so we had a lot of fun over 4 days, you know, just talking about basketball, seeing how the tournament is going, and you know, like I said, been a lot of upsets. And I think it's so funny this year with so many upsets is we have to pay respect to, we call it the left coast, the West Coast. West Coast is representing.
Wow,
they're doing their thing right now.
Wow, they getting tired of getting disrespected, and they made a statement. This man, they made a statement.
Yeah, they are. They, you know, it's funny too because. Like I forget about the West, man. Whenever the tournaments start, you know, we'll look at the Power 5 conferences. You know, you look at the ACC, the Big East, the Big 10, the Big 12, and then the SEC. And sometimes I forget about the Pac-12. I mean, the Pac-12 has been that weak, and they haven't really done anything in football, so we kind of forget about the Pac-12. You know, but this year, just how the game is, and just watching them play. And even though Gonzaga is not, you know, a Pac-12 team, which they should be, I don't know why they're not playing in the Pac-12. I hadn't figured it out yet. Maybe it's because, no, it has to be because of football, but basketball, very capable of playing with any conference. But how I look at the West is, you know, it's funny because Mick Cronin is a guy that really wants to play defense. And, you know, when you get a UCLA job, you know, those fans, when they, I guess, got tired of Ben Howland, they were upset because the games were in the 50s and 60s. They wanted to see more up tempo. They wanted to see some 80s and 90s games in the 80s and 90s. And when you watch it right now, you know, you're watching these teams out west. You know, they're getting up and down the court. You know, they have athletes, they can compete. But when you in the South, we don't get many of those games, and most of it because of, you know, the time schedule. You know, with games starting at maybe 10, 11 o'clock. Like, how many times are you up watching Gonzaga play 10, 11? Like, they come on, I see it.
Yeah.
But, you know, man, I'm getting ready for bed around that time. So we're actually missing out on some of the talent that's being displayed in on the West Coast. But it's funny watching Johnny Juzang, and you know, we really got to get into that one. I'm just like, because it's funny, my brother called me, he was like, I kept seeing that name. He said, man, I've seen that kid somewhere. And I was like, yeah, the kid that transferred from Kentucky. He was like, oh, that kid. I was like, yeah, that kid is getting buckets right now.
Be on the all-tournament team if it ended right now. He's on the all-tournament team, man.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. You know, but I think just, you know, getting the confidence, you know, and getting a chance to play and showcase your talent. And, you know, I think so many times it's not so much the kid. I think it's the parents, because of what other parents, the success they've had at Kentucky, and kids not wanting to wait their turn, you know, and expect to do well right away. You know, you look at the talent we had this year. It was, to me, I thought this year's class, and remains to be seen, I think it was an overrated class. You know, and we'll see going forward, you know, what comes out of this class. But from the players, you know, how you build your name is, you know, you use March Madness if you can advance and get to a couple of rounds. But, you know, college basketball is a platform for these guys. And that's what we saw with Zion. You think that Zion had been able to sign like a $75 million shoe deal. And then I think there was a company over in China that offered him like $125 million for a shoe deal. So, but he was able to use college, you know, to build his name, build his brand. He built his brand by coming to college. So I'm not so caught up on, okay, yeah, you go to the G League. The G League pays you what? Let's say Jalen Green, for instance. He gets what? $500,000. Okay, how much money Uncle Sam will take of that? probably about 200,000,
Mm-hmm.
200, 250. So now you got to move. You got to get your car. You got to get your house. You know, you're young, so you're probably gonna bring your parents out there. So that's probably another 100,000. And we're looking at you having like about 150,000, maybe less than that. And you know you're gonna have to go out and buy you a nice little wardrobe and maybe some jewelry. So now we're talking about $45,000 to $50,000 you playing around with. So kids don't see it like that, you know. And although Jalen will be a lottery pick, so he'll get his money back, you know, and he'll start out. But why would you give up building your brand like a Zion? And that would have been the advice that I would have gave like a Jalen Green. Is like, hey man, you know, you come out, you blow it up, you do what you got to do, whatever college you go to, you building your brand. So now everybody knows, because nobody, think about when he get drafted, he's been there for a year. Unless you follow the AAU circuit, you're not really gonna know him like that. Now he's an explosive player. I really like his game, and I've seen him play several times. But you know, if he had to come out right now, he could be like a number 2, number 3 pick. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. You answered just one of the questions that a listener sent in. Steve Azul has sent it in. Why are so many young guys wanting to go to the G League and then go to the NBA? I mean, I didn't even have to ask the question because that was basically his question that you just nailed. And when we first started, I know you was fact checking when I said second and steals. I could see you was like making sure I was up on my stats, wasn't you? You was like, make sure Vin's saying the stats right. I was saying,
yeah, man. You know what? Wayne turned to play in too many games, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Wayne was. I told Wayne, I say, if I really could have got a chance to get the playing time as a freshman, I really could have put some, put a little distance on it. It made it tough for you, to get to me as far as like being second in steals. I take pride in my defense, you know what I'm saying? Sure. But what I will say, and a lot of people don't know, I say the all-time leading NCAA scorer. So people never talk about that. And threes made. So when you look it up again, you'd be like, let me look up and see what everybody at Kentucky has done in NCAA tournament. Like they don't ever talk about the tournament points and tournament threes and steals and all that. So that's where, the most important games I played, I got buckets in them games. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking back, I was talking about my brackets, and I had Illinois going all the way. So brackets destroyed. I can't even begin to tell you how destroyed. So I'm going back, I'm watching the Sumu. I'm like, the Sumu, you're supposed to be the best player on the floor. And all you can give me is 9 points, 5 or 6 turnovers. And you lose to Iona, Chicago. And I'm just like, there's no way I'm going out like that. I just don't see myself being a scorer, being a draft pick, not going out with 25, 30 points. Like even Luka Garza, who he might, if he is, he's a late pick, second round, because he has slow feet. But he gave him 36 though. You know what I'm saying? Like he went out, he was like, man, I'm giving you 36. Regardless, we might lose, but even Cade Cunningham, 24, 26, somewhere like that. But dude, the best you can give me is 9 points. Like I was so disappointed in how he played. And, because he wasn't one of those guys that was like, gonna be a lottery pick, but he good size, couple triple doubles he had, first team All-American, if I'm not mistaken. So I was expecting so much out of him. And when I look at him, like, man, not only did you mess my bracket up, you destroyed my bracket, which I'm still pissed at. You might have messed your draft situation up, because they're looking at you in the biggest game. And what I saw he was struggling with is that he was struggling with making decisions using pick and roll. Now, what your coach got to do is, and we did this some years ago when I was on the staff, I think it was my second year with Coach Cal. We started running pick and rolls instead of going left. Brandon was really good. He was good going right. So he's like, be nice, we're gonna keep you going right. So but I saw it in practice. I was like, his decision making going left wasn't as good as it was going right. So you got to switch sides of the court and make sure that if you run a pick and roll, you got to run the pick and roll. But also you got to, if you don't see the options, you got to show him where the options are at. So now he's making the right read, because you can't keep putting the guy in the pick and roll and he's not making the right read, because what usually happens, you're going to make them change their coverage. And another thing Illinois didn't do, they didn't make an adjustment to the one play that Loyola ran the whole game. It's like, dude, you can't be serious with this. Like what kind of adjustments are you going to make? And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think great coaches know how to make adjustments, like in game, halftime, timeouts. And that's the difference between when I look at some of these coaches who are getting paid $6, $7, $8 million. It's like, for real, seriously? You're going to let this team beat you? And not only beat you, but beat you because you never made an adjustment.
Like Underwood was just, it's like he was just clueless over there for Illinois. He was standing over there like, I don't know what to do.
It was like he had no answers. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, they run the same play and they're just picking you apart, but you can't bring Kofi up and tell him, okay, man, you know what, you got to pressure. You got to pressure the pass. You know, we got to trap this. It was just like, you know, and I see this a lot of times, because these coaches and assistant coaches, they're prepping for these games, giving you a scout report. But you got to have, if something's not working, like, you got to change your game plan. And it was like they had a game plan going in, and Loyola changed their game plan, and they never made an adjustment to it. And that's what I'm saying about, not to say he's not a good coach. You know, when I say great coach, you need to have a championship behind you. Like, I don't care how many times you got to the tournament, that's great. But, you know, maybe a conference title. But when you win a national championship, and even sometimes with that being said, when I look at greatness, I look at a great coach is Coach K. He's won multiple titles. Mm-hmm. I look at Bobby Knight. I look at Billy Donovan. He's won more than one title.
No.
Because I always tell people, okay, we look at all these coaches who won one title, you know, and I don't want to start naming the ones that won one title, but I said, what make those coaches who still have jobs, still getting paid a lot of money, what make those coaches different from Kevin Ollie? Think about it. Think about what I'm telling you right now. He had the same amount of titles as all these coaches that are supposed to be great coaches now, and they have how many titles? One.
Yeah.
So what separates him getting another job from all these other guys who still have a job that are getting paid all this money? Kevin Ollie has the same amount of titles as a lot of these coaches who won one.
Yeah, that's why that.
And I'm looking at Texas Tech, Shaka Smart, and these guys making, you know, I think Texas Tech coach makes maybe like $6 million.
Yeah, he's up there.
He's up there, $6 million. You know, he got him to the championship, the national championship game, and but I'm like, dang, you know, this dude did the same. He did the same thing. He won one title.
Mm-hmm. And two like really solidifies you to anybody can. Well, not anybody can win one, but one can still be fluky. If you get two, that like gets you that respect at a different seat at the table.
It does.
You know, and to me, I'm like, look, may you rest in peace. Dean Smith won two, but both of his was kind of fluky. Both, I mean, you know,
they were.
Jordan hit the jumper, and then dude comes down and passes it right to the Georgetown. The Georgetown dude passes it like right to James Worthy.
Yeah.
Then you got Michigan and Chris Webber calling the timeout. He won two, but I would think a lot of dudes has won two. His are the shakiest two of the coaches that have won two.
They are. They came down to not you having a great team, and
he didn't win it with his great teams.
He sure did. He
Stack and Sheed and
that's
Carter and Davison. He didn't win with them dudes.
He did not. You're right. He did not win with his great team. But you know what? And that's where I think, like I said, different table, a different seat at the table, like Roy Williams. And I told somebody, I said, Roy Williams, he won with his good teams. You know what I'm saying? Like even the year that they beat Kentucky with Bam and Fox and Monk, I said that team was good. I thought we were better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it came down to a last second shot to beat us. You know, and where the first half, our guys were in foul trouble, but he won it with that team, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, he took that team to the promised land. And I think they lost the year before, didn't he? I want to say
Villanova. Is that one Villanova?
Somebody, yeah. On there you go. Villanova hit the last second three, which was kind of like a fluky play. Like, you know, they lost on, but you know what he did? They came back and won the thing. You know what I'm saying? They didn't just have no disappointing season. They lost in the championship game, they returned and won the championship. So you have to give him and Billy Donovan have a different seat at the table. Him, Billy Donovan, of course, Bobby Knight won his. He actually, the last time he won was he won with an undefeated team. He also won with Isaiah Thomas, and he won with
Smart, hit that jumper.
Yeah, Smart. Yep. Keith Smart and
or else Boeheim would have two.
He would.
So it's a thin line, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. But I don't think people really talk about it that much, because you look at all these coaches that won one and we start putting them in graph like no. They're good coaches. There ain't no. I can't put them in conversation. Great. They haven't separated until you can separate yourself from Kevin Ollie, you're not a great coach.
Right. Now speaking of, and we gotta get into that, your former coach has won two, one in Kentucky, one at Louisville. Everything happened. They took the banner.
I still count Coach Pete Louisville one, man. Coach Pete, you got two under your belt, man. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. They took the banner down. They beat Michigan and all that. He was on camera, and we saw he gave Iona a fight. Iona gave Alabama a fight in the first round. He was on Cameron Mills' show Sunday, and for y'all listeners, we had Cam on a few weeks ago. Coach P is telling Cameron that he's in heaven at Iona. It doesn't matter if Kentucky was open, and we know Indiana is open. He's done with the big time. He's gonna retire at Iona, and he's any of these big jobs that come along, he's saying he's good. It's your coach. You know him better than a lot of people.
Right.
Is he good at Iona now? He's talking about how loyal they were to him. They flew to hire him, and I'm done with the big time. You don't think he wants another run at a big time job if it comes along?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, to be honest with you, Vinny, sometimes when you had something, been so good at it, successful at it, like it brings a new headache when you can just, you can relax at Iona, man. It's not, coaches made a lot of money.
Yeah. And
it shouldn't be about the money. I think it's just more about peace of mind. I think it's just to make sure my name is not tarnished. Because you know what? He is, in my mind, he's a great coach. And not only because I played for him, but just having played for so many different coaches, and just what I'm talking about is making adjustments and recruiting guys, and those guys make it to the NBA. Coaches that are successful. We talk about Billy Donovan, who was one of his pupils, is his student player and assistant coach for him. Tubby, Jim O'Brien. We go down the line, man. Stu Jackson, Van Gundy. I mean, we can just keep naming. His son has been a successful coach. Steve Masiello, Walter McCarty. Just guys has been under his tutelage. Mick Cronin was with him for a minute. Marvin Menzies, who's been a coach. I mean, we can just go down the line of guys that's been assistant under Coach P, what they've done with him. So it's. I think with him, it's just a peace of mind, man. I think, now coach is 68 years old, man. I want one of them jobs like that. I want to go home and sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? You take the Indiana job comes with a lot of pressure. And, that would be a job for like a Brad Stevens if he ever decided to leave Boston Celtics. I'm trying to think of some guys that would do well, and it's a challenge that, okay, cool. You know what? That presents a whole new challenge. But you got to be ready with what comes with that challenge. Indiana, in their mind, still thinking of Indiana Bobby Knight. They're not. Let's not think that's the Indiana that they're. You might be getting those fans, those older fans, is thinking, okay, this is what y'all did, 20-some, 30-some years ago, but y'all are really a rebuild. Let's be honest here. Indiana's a rebuild job.
His last title was 87. We were in middle school. I was 10. You was.
And I was in middle school. You're right. That's what I'm saying. But
they won a title, Indiana.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, Indiana is a rebuild job. Like, you ain't taking Indiana to be like, ooh, man, we're gonna start getting these top recruits and we the Indiana. Like, no, nobody's knocking on Indiana's door. No recruits are looking at Indiana as being a destination for them.
Yeah.
No, they're not. So until you get that coach to get those, start getting those top players. But I tell you what's going to happen, though. I'm seeing it right now. Nate Oates and Eric Musselman, they're going to put some pressure on Kentucky for top recruits. I got that feeling right now. I got that feeling because of how they play, the athletes they have, their style. I'm start thinking, I'm like, man, if these dudes get to Elite Eight, Final Four, because what kids about what's happening now.
Yeah.
And if you're not relevant now or winning now, they're not really concerned about what happened, 2 or 3 years from now. It's like, okay, what's the hottest place to go and play and showcase my talent? And I'm looking at Eric Musselman, I'm looking at Nate Oates, and I'm just like, man, there might be two dudes you want in the conference right now. So they got some energy with them.
And that's the buzzing question, the fans want to know, the media wants to know, is how much is Cal going to change? Is Cal going to change his style, change his philosophy? Is he going to, because he's been ahead of the curve on the one and dones. He's been ahead of the curve on transfers. He's been ahead of the curve on a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With these two dudes coming in, nipping at his heels and new kids on the block trying to flex in his league, is he going to try to play that style? Is he still going to have a bunch of bigs out there? Is he going to get some shooters? What do you think? How much tweaking do you think he'll do to his philosophy? And will he be more of an offensive coach? We see Nick Saban in Alabama, they scoring 40 points a game now, and he's a defensive guy.
Yeah. You
think Cal is going to kind of change the way, I got to get some shooting in here, I got to get a little more, what do you think? Or just get guys?
Well, it's funny you say that, because I think that depends on who's on your staff. Like your assistant, your head associate, your assistant coaches, like they got to come up with a different game plan. Because I think this year we got some, I'm not gonna say top recruits on paper, but not in performance. We didn't get that. So now you got to go out and start recruiting differently. And you got to be able to play some small ball, like some 6'7", 6'8". Like those guys present problems. And when you have a player like Sarr is not going to be a back to the basket player. I didn't see. He was kind of like a Skylar Bissiere, where they kept trying to make him post play, man, go down there and post. He didn't want to be down there. He was like, Coach, I'm too thin. That ain't my game. But I'm saying you can't force me to do something I'm not comfortable doing. And that's what I look at these other teams where they have like Justin Smith, like you got 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" guys. Them guys want to be on the ground. Those guys want to drill the ball. They want to showcase their talent and show you their skill set. And when you're not allowing me to do that, you're just going to make me do something that I'm not comfortable doing, guys will start bucking the system. They're going to be like, this is not going to work for me. And you're going to start seeing more and more guys. Because I told a guy this other day, so you got to know who the assistant coaches are. You got to see if their style fits your son, first of all. Where do my son fit in to that style of play? You got to really watch the game of basketball before you actually have your son sign a letter of intent to go anywhere. Because it don't make sense. I'm not going to a school to transfer. Like, that's not my goal. Like, it's almost like getting married to get a divorce. Mm-hmm. You're really looking at, you should do your homework. Okay, man, this woman right here, she don't cook. She don't clean. You know what I'm saying? Every time I come home, I'm telling her, you got to put this up. You got to do this. So you know what you're marrying. You know what I'm saying? So you already know what you're getting yourself into. So most guys be like, no, it ain't gonna work for me. I'm not gonna be happy. And the same thing with the player trying to go to a university. Do your homework. You're gonna spend most of your time with the assistant coaches. The head coach has a lot of things on his plate. He's gonna be at practice, of course. But when it comes to your training, you working out, you get to know who the next recruit is going to come in, and how do I fit on this team right here? What I need to do. You need to know all those things before you come. You need to ask those questions before you ever sign a letter of intent, because if not, you sign a letter of intent to transfer to another school because you're not happy. Let's be honest. And before that happens, make sure you've done your homework on how do I fit in playing tempo, playing time. I'm not really concerned about playing time, but I still think if there's someone ahead of you, like, how good is a player ahead of you? And you got to be honest with that coach. Hey, coach, I know such and such is there, and am I going to play behind it?
Yeah.
And I think it's just a coach, to be honest. Yeah. So before you make that mistake, yeah, he's pretty damn good. And, but I know he's going to make you a better player. So if you welcome the challenge, I would tell you come on and take that challenge. But if you want to just start right away, this might not be the place for you because unless he gets hurt, he's playing. And I had that situation when I was at New Mexico State when a dad called me. And I'm like, I said, listen, man, this dude in front of you, man, that dude can ball. That dude is a pit bull. He brings it every day. Your son? No, dude. I said, here's another question. Ask your son, can he beat him? And see what he say. And if he say he can beat him, he's lying. He's a liar. You know what I'm saying? Like you send us a liar. He kicks his ass every day at practice. And I mean, when I say every day, Benny, he was kicking his ass every day at practice. But when you're getting your ass kicked every day at practice, let me tell you this. 2 things gonna happen. Either you're gonna quit or you're gonna get better. Mm-hmm. That's all that's gonna happen. Either you're gonna quit or you're gonna get better. Oh, I forgot 3 things. Or you're gonna transfer. That's what's gonna happen. Right. 3 things gonna happen. You're gonna quit, get better, transfer. That's it. Mm-hmm. Those are your 3 options. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm telling a recruit when I have this dude in front of him that's really, really good. Here are your 3 options. You can come there, because certain dudes, they'll make you quit, man. They'll be like, man, I don't like this smoke, man. Mm-hmm. He bring that smoke every day. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Think about it, man. Somebody bring that smoke every day, you can be like, man, I'm about to get a new job, man. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the job. You know, but that might be who you might be that dude. You might not be up for the challenge, man. So you got to know your personality, your temperature. And here's the thing too, Benny. It's okay, man. It's okay to quit. It's okay. Yeah, go do something else. It might not. You might not have a future playing basketball. Just think about it. It's not for everyone.
As far as the future of the roster, we finding some stuff out. We Askew is going to be back. Dante Allen's going to be back. Lance Ware said he's coming back. Toppin is probably back. Mintz and Keon are kind of in. I don't know. Keon Brooks, I don't know. Davion Mintz, I don't know. Boston, Clark, Isaiah Jackson are gone. Isaiah Jackson left the door open. He didn't sign with an agent, but Terrence Clark and Brandon Boston are gone. And they don't think Sarr is going to take advantage of his free year to come back either. So that's where we are as of now with this team.
How can I comment, man? How can I comment and keep it nice? You know what I'm saying? Where you wish kids well, and that's all you can do, man. You know, you got to make a grown man decision. And you know, if something's not working out, you find out there's something better out there, go do it. Go get it done, man. But I can tell you this right now. If you hit that G League, like I said about them dogs down there, them grown men, they're trying to feed their family and kids. That's what's going to happen. We talking about the G League, the NBA, if you can't play, and I've said this before on one of our previous podcasts, players know within maybe a few hours, a couple of practice, if you're an NBA player. We know that. You ain't fooled. Like you might have somebody else fooled, but we know if you can play basketball or not. You ain't tricking us, man. Like you can't trick somebody that's been playing and that's really good at it. When you come in and you mediocre to average and you trying to think you're an NBA player, like, no, dude, you a body. You like a 10th, 11th guy, like we picking you up from the sideline. You see that? Oh yeah, you want to come play with us, man? And we ain't even thinking that you're good enough. Really, you just a 5th player. Mm-hmm. But when you make that decision, you better be sure that you can play basketball. Mm-hmm. And I think, and then Coach Cal, being on his staff, he's told many guys, as he say, when you play Kentucky, because there's so many televised games, you will get exposed if you can't play basketball. Mm-hmm. And I think what we saw this year, and this is what I'm saying, like going back to the drawing board, working on your game, coming back and being a better player the next season, a few of these guys got exposed. And what we found out was, like I said, being overrated is, not to say you can't go and be a really good NBA player. But what you showcase in all the games we saw was not good basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, if you were good enough, we would have won more than how many games? 9 games. Like when was the last? And I know this was a crazy year because of COVID and some of the restrictions and not being able to play a full season. But a full season would have been more losses. That's how I looked at it. You would have saw. Instead, how many losses? We finished what 15 or 16 losses?
Mm-hmm, 16.
Oh, it probably it would have easily been 20 some losses. So it would have been historically a really, really bad season with more losses. But I will say this: the conference, because the coaching has gotten better, the conference is more challenging now. Like it's not going to be you walking through this conference anymore. I think, like I said, with Nate Oates, Eric Musselman, those are 2 guys. And Mike White would be right. He'd be right in the middle somewhere. I'm not excited about his coaching style. He's another coach that, I'm watching Florida play. Yeah, he's borderline. But I'm watching Florida play. I'm like, how can y'all still this late in the season still be turning the ball over 18, 19 times a game? Like, how far are y'all going to go? Like, I'm looking at it right now, and I'm thinking to myself, y'all playing against a team, and Oral Roberts is okay. Like, they're not. We don't know. They don't have a Steph Curry on the team. They have some good. They have 2 really good players, but they don't have a household name that we can just ride throughout the tournament. Yeah. Let's be honest here. But a game that you had to lead, and you probably should have won the game. You got to figure out how can we get our best player the ball without turning the ball over. Period. And Trey Mann got to be the best player on the court. Yep. But back to what I'm saying about Mike White being a good coach is that I think sometimes we use the term good loosely, where like what makes you a good coach? Okay, you win games. But when you get to this, you get to this March Madness and you get there every other year, if you keep getting there, like I expect you to advance to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, maybe Final 4. And I feel like the same way for Leonard Hamilton, FSU. You've had a lot of talent. I'm not going to leave you out either. You had a lot of talent over the last 10 plus years. So when are you going to take the next step to get your team to a Final 4 and stop getting to the Sweet 16, Elite 8 game, and that's it for you? Like, it's like, oh, I can't get a hook. But it's saying that the Elite 8 is, to me, the toughest game to win. And what I mean, you only have a day to prepare for that team. It's not like you got 2 weeks, a week, 7 days. You got 1 day to come up with your best coaching job. And what I mean by best coaching job, having a plan and then having a counter and being able to make an adjustment. That's how you win an Elite 8 game. You don't win an Elite 8 game by you watching film all night. You got your assistant coaches that have done their scouting report. You got to make a change on the game. And most coaches struggle with that because if they've never been to that game before, they don't know what to do. But if I've been there and with a really good team, and this was Coach Cal, we made the Elite 8 game in '95, and we lost to Stackhouse, Rasheed, and McGinnis. And there was some adjustment that we didn't make. And I know our coaching staff and coach learned from that game that, okay, we get to the Elite 8 game. How do we get to the next game? And our Elite 8 game was against my 96 year. Who do you think it was? See if you know. Take you back in memory lane. Played at Wake Forest. 5-time NBA champion.
Duncan and them.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. Y'all
beat them down. Beat the brakes off them. It wasn't even close. But we did something that most teams don't do. You can't trap a big that can pass the ball with a small player. You know why?
You can see over top. You can see over top of whoever's.
Thank you. So a lot of these coaches and teams, they trap with a little guard. I'm like, why are you sending a little dude? You got to send. And when the game is changing, bigs are really good passing ball, but they're not big passing big against another big tall guy. It's like 2 guards. When we converge on 2, like let's say I'm 6'1", and let's say a guy but I had 6'10" wingspan, and somebody's 6'1" and another 6'4". If we were to trap this guy, we're gonna make it tougher to pass out. And the same thing kind of with bigs is that you can't trap a big with a small player, especially the big can pass. But the Elite 8 game, you got to make change. You got to make adjustments, and just watch how the Elite 8 games go. Like Sweet 16 is the better teams have gotten there. You're gonna start seeing But the Elite Eight game, those are the most important games. Yeah, you want to get to that final weekend, of course, but I like the Elite Eight game. I like to see what coaches do in those particular situations.
And to that point, and I got one more thing before we wrap it up. You said Kentucky, the Elite Eight game being the hardest. Kentucky's the only game in the NCAA tournament they got a losing record historically is in the Elite Eight. They got a winning record in every round except the Elite Eight. So,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, but, so you ain't lying about that Elite Eight.
Hey, it's tough, man. I mean, I like I said, I've been there before. I've been there twice, and I felt the pressure, because now man, we win this game, win the Final Four. But here's another thing too: the players. But I think if the coach is loose, if the players have been there before, because I lost an Elite Eight game, so I knew I was like, man, we get back here, we're gonna win this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had been there before. But if you've never been there, you know the pressure of being in an Elite Eight game. And that's what I'm saying about the experience part of some of these coaches that a coach that's coached in it with a really good team that returns. If you return everyone, you got to know, okay, we're going to win our first round, second round game. Now I can win our third round game. That's it.
That's it. So before we close it out, man, I gotta give a quick shout out to my Harlan County Black Bears playing the 13th region tournament tonight against Central in Corbin.
Big ups.
So and on a sad note, our Kentucky women's team right now are losing to Iowa in the second round. The Cats are a 4 seed, Iowa's a 5 seed. Iowa's up 58-39 right now, 4 minutes left in the third quarter. So that's
you said hold on, 58 what?
58-39 Iowa.
We only got 39 points.
In the third quarter, 4 minutes left in the third quarter. So that's not going good for our Kentucky women's basketball team right now.
Oh man, yes.
And last thing, I gotta ask you this because we talked about it all year long. Dwayne Peavy goes to DePaul, KP goes to the Knicks. DePaul makes a change. They have a head coaching opening, so we know Peavy, of course, going to call KP. KP is already interviewed for the DePaul job. A reporter from the Chicago Tribune said DePaul is zeroing in on Kenny Payne. So you think that KP is about to be the next coach at DePaul?
Hey, if he wants to be a head coach, I mean, it's the perfect opportunity, to get what you've been asking for. Now because Kenny has interviewed for jobs, but I don't think the ADs and the president are really serious about hiring him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, yeah, we'll interview you, but how serious are we about hiring? This dude want to hire. Mm-hmm. This is real. Like you going in and you already know. I know this dude. He know me.
Yeah. Now, not surprised at all.
Now we're just getting the money, and then he's getting the money straight. You know what I'm saying? He's just trying to compensate me now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it boils down to is compensation. Because you know what I can do. Put it like this. You know who I am. Who said that? Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Durant told him. He told man, talking about who was trying to guard him was Patrick Beverly. He's like, you know who I am. So KP, man, Dwayne Peavy, you know who I am. Mm-hmm. So let's cut to the chase, man. We ain't gotta have no 6 hour meeting, show me around the campus and kind of dude.
Skip all that.
Yeah. How much you paying me? Hey, man, I'm going straight to how much money y'all got in y'all budget. Hey man, like I told, I'm not playing, I'm too old to be playing games, man. Like, no, dude, don't bring me, put it like this, stop wasting my time. And that's what I told somebody up there. I said, listen, here's where I'm at with time. Dude, I don't have a lot of it. I don't know how much I got left, but I don't like wasting my time. I'm 47. If you're gonna hire me. If you're not, man, hey, listen, dude, don't waste my time, man. I don't want to spend over 3 or 4 hours that I can't ever get back talking to you about nothing. Talking to you about not hiring, about not paying me my money before I even get on a flight to come there. How much money do y'all have in y'all budget? How much y'all trying to pay me? Like what where are we starting at? Are we starting with how much I'm getting paid right now? That's put it like this, Ben, before we get off. That's where negotiations start with. It starts at what I'm making right now and up. Nothing below that. Anything below that, do not pick up. Don't call me, man. Don't waste my time. Because that's where you cut all this BS out. Is if you want to hire me, the negotiations start with how much money I'm making right now.
That's it. Cut and dry. You did your thing on the radio. You did your thing on TV this past couple weeks. You like one better than the other? Are you cool? Are you just good at both?
You know what? I try to stay versatile, man. I try to do both and try to be the best I can be at both of them, man. I really enjoy radio. I love being on TV with the right people, and the same thing with radio. You get a good play-by-play guy, a good host, man. That's who makes the show. Like they are the ones just teeing us up and just making us, look great at what we do. And either or, it doesn't matter. And even the podcast, man. I like doing my thing on the podcast now.
For sure. Hey, and so many people want to listen because, I get so many comments. You doing a podcast with TD? Still so many people's favorite player. Still got memories of 00. So, hey, and
I appreciate
and knowledge. Hey, people appreciate more listeners because you on here than if you weren't. I know that.
well, we like I said, we got to get these women on next time, man.
Yeah,
so that's our job.
Sure. We had little Jordan from Ole Miss talking trash because they beat us. So now we gotta get Anna rescheduled and a couple that you text me. We got them in the works.
Yeah.
We definitely gonna make it happen for sure. Appreciate you as always, man. Hope you got good practice tonight.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy hearing you do your thing on TV and radio. Like I said, I listened to you more on the radio than I was watching the game because I was out and about doing stuff. So I pop on the TuneIn app on the phone. So it was cool hearing y'all. But yeah, man, enjoy this episode. We'll see how the rest of the tournament goes. It'll be Elite Eight.
We'll see what happens, man.
Next week. So it's been another episode of Bleav in Kentucky for the UK Hall of Famer Tony Delk. My name is Vinny Hardy. It's been another episode of Bleav in Kentucky presented by Bet Online. Download, subscribe, rate, review, and we'll catch y'all next week.